Welcome to the final part of our jollof rice series, where I share useful tips to achieving the best tasting jollof rice every single time. In this part, our focus will be on the type of rice I use and the ones that I recommend. They work every single time. I'll also share some tips on how you can achieve party jollof rice and or smoky jollof rice. Please let me know if you want to see a demonstrative video, and I'll also share my trick on how I cook jollof rice to avoid it burning early and end up with great tasting jollof rice. I keep getting a lot of questions about the brand of rice I use. I used to use the Tropical Sun Basmati until they started making the fake, so I just left it for the people who still like it. So let's not even go there. Anyway, here are some of the brands that I love and I use. For the sake of this video, I am using the 507 basmati rice. It's called 507 parboiled basmati rice. I also use another brand called Maharani. Maharani is a true gem. It is just, I don't know, it's just a true gem. Then I love the L'Aquila brand. The L'Aquila brand is an absolute winner. I like to use their Supreme Seller basmati. So yeah, the first thing I like to do when I have to make jollof rice is wash the rice. I do this even before I cook the meat or clean the pepper mix, and I'll tell you why. Jollof rice is steamed, and personally I want it to start heating up and cooking immediately I add water to it. So washing it right before cooking messes up the temperature required to cook my jollof rice. So what do? I wash it first. Before I do anything. Allow it to sit in a sieve to drain the last drop of water used in washing it, and it will look somewhat dry, like it's just coming off the bag or the packaging. I don't know if I explained this well, but let me give you a typical example. Have you ever had uncooked rice sit in cold water for a long time? What happens is you really don't like the look. It just soaks up the water and it becomes a mess. So for me, that's the ideology I apply for washing my rice right early. I just want it to dry up before I start to cook. I found that it's just the best trick for jollof rice. Okay, moving along. Once your sauce or stew base is ready, what I like to do is to set it down. Yes, set it down. So I empty the sauce from the pot and put the sauce in a bowl. Then I bring back that pot. Get it? Now for the interesting part. The technique that will turn your jollof rice game into something else. Okay, let's cook. Now, look at how dry that rice looks. Then turn that dry rice into that pot that you use to fry the stew base and stir it. This process, I like to think of it as though someone gave me plenty rice with one tiny spoon like this. So stir it and combine it, then try as much as possible to level the rice in the pot. Then gradually ladle the stew base little by little on top of the rice. Someone once saw this and said, no wonder your rice is stew, you use a lot of sauce. And I'm like, isn't that what you're supposed to use? Am I supposed to use small sauce for jollof rice? Your jollof rice should be saucy. Like the sauce should be there. Sometimes I even like to use my wooden spoon to measure to see if it is up to 1 centimeter or more. Like if the sauce is 1 centimeter away from the rice. Sometimes I like to do that measurement. Anyway, why am I doing this measurement? I realized that whenever I made jollof rice in the past using the reverse method, that's pouring the rice into the sauce and mixing it up, I found the rice began to burn early, no matter how much low heat I used, and I found out that I lost a good amount of the sauce, during that process, the burning process, so it left me with an average tasting rice. So I sort of began to look for ways, to remedy that, and I found that this method was the best method, for me. This method doesn't only work for basmati. I need you guys to understand, it doesn't only work for basmati, it also works for parboiled rice and short grain rice. Jollof rice must be cooked in hot or boiling water. I need you to understand that the rice needs to start cooking immediately. So you need hot or boiling water. So what I do is I add boiling water little by little. You need to watch this process. I add water little by little. Then using my wooden spoon, I poke holes in the rice to give the water room to go down without necessarily stirring the rice. What I do is I alternate the stock or the broth with the water. Now notice how much water I add at interval. This is to prevent me from adding way too much water. Also, please understand that rice is generally steamed, so you need very little water and a lot of steam to cook any kind of rice, not just jollof rice. This should always guide you when you're making or cooking rice. Now, once you get the water right above the rice, now cook it on high temperature for just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, or until it starts to boil like this. Then reduce the heat to the lowest, cover with foil to trap the steam, and then cook for 20 to 30 minutes. Basmati takes between 25 to 30 minutes. But if you're making basmati rice, I want you to start checking for doneness at 20 minutes. Now, once you see the grains are almost done, it's time for you to stir to combine. So stir the rice, the stew, combine it completely. Now, as you can see, there's still a lot of moisture at this stage, even if you don't see water dripping from the rice or from the spoon. Now, notice how you also don't see oil floating at the top of my rice or at the top of my pot, or even at the base of the rice. This is because of the technique where I showed you how, or the technique that I shared on how you can use less oil to cook your jollof rice or less oil to fry your jollof rice base. Now, while you're doing this, you can take the time to fish out the thyme stalk, the bay leaves, or leave it there. For the sake of this video, I'm only taking out the thyme stalk because I have someone in my house who, if they don't see bay leaf inside jollof rice, they know they chop them. Anyways, stir this to combine completely. Now, after stirring, this is the time for you to taste and adjust your seasoning if needed. You can taste and adjust your salt or seasoning cube. You really don't need to adjust anything if you followed this method, to the teeth. However, like I always say, follow your taste buds. Your taste buds should always guide you. So when you taste it and your taste bud says, oh, you need salt, you can add salt, but please minimal. Don't go and pour plenty salt. Then next up, introduce the sliced fresh tomatoes and onion. The tomatoes and onion for me is for moisture and to help cook the rice some more, and also to flavor the rice anyway. So now I'm adding butter. Why am I adding butter? It's because one reason is because I used less oil, and also it just helps give the rice a buttery, rich flavor, and then it leaves you this mouthful feel when you're eating the jollof rice. And then it also gives the jollof rice some moisture and helps to further separate the grain. If you notice, while I was stirring the rice, it felt a bit saucy. So by adding this butter, it will help to separate the grain some more and give the rice a lush and shiny look. Leave it on low heat for 10 to 15 minutes and you're ready to go. Now, if you then want to make smoky jollof rice, as in like patty jollof rice. Now there's a difference between smoky jollof rice and party jollof rice. Smoky jollof rice is the one where you burn coal and then put the coal in foil paper, make like a hole into your jollof rice, and then dump it in the middle and then cover it to trap the steam. That's smoky. You're adding smoke to the jollof rice. I personally do not fancy that, because at the end of the day you lose the taste of the jollof rice. The jollof rice just tastes like smoke. It doesn't really, have that party jollof rice flavor. But if you then want to make party jollof rice, here is a trick for you at home and also for any caterer in the house. If you want that party jollof rice kind of feel, it's important to know that if your plan is to make, let me use an example. If you're a caterer and you're making a kilo of rice, which let's say 5 kg of rice, you need to make room for more. So let's say if your plan is to make 5 kg of rice, what you're going to cook is about 6 kg to 7 kg of rice, because you need to put into consideration the burning process, as you will lose rice grains doing that. So if you want smoky jollof rice, if you want party jollof rice, you already know what to do. This is at the stage where you then cover it, increase the heat of your rice, and let it go to town. And that's it. Thank you guys for following me on this journey. I hope I've given you wings to fly and go off making the best tasting jollof rice. Again, please share your questions, your concerns, and I'll be happy to share my response. Now, before you leave, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and to turn on your post notification to get notified every time I post my amazing recipes. And until next time, I love you, munchos.